An example of narcissism on steroids here, and how people like that, no matter what they do, they're always in the right and everybody else is at fault for whatever happens. And if you encounter people that like that in your life, get away from them very quickly. Or if you discovered your loved one is like that, time to handle things accordingly, just like this guy. Titled, "My wife had a 7-month-long affair, but says I'm being an a-hole in my reactions." And a shout out to Chris for sending this story. He says, "So for a few months, I had a nagging feeling that my wife Sally, a 28-year-old female, was hiding something from me. Little changes in her behavior I couldn't explain. I even confronted her in the beginning, but was told I was imagining things. Of course. I'm a firefighter and work 24-hour shifts 2 to 3 days a week. Because of that, I have a lot of free time to do what I like in terms of household chores like laundry, yard work, and some cleaning. The first of the 2 red flags I noticed was some of the outfits that she would wear when we were out in the laundry, along with lingerie that I didn't remember her wearing. Not outfits she would wear to work. The second red flag was that the sheets in our bed would be changed the day after my shifts. They would already be in the dryer by the time I got home. Well, she would just say, "Oh, after a hard 24-hour shift, I wanted you to have nice clean sheets for the bed." And as for the mysterious lingerie, she'd probably make us some stupid excuse for that. "Oh, I just bought that. I just, washed it so I can wear it for you." "Oh, really? I haven't seen them yet." I checked her phone records and didn't find any unknown phone numbers that repeatedly showed up, and I don't know the access code to her phone. Sally is very tech savvy, so I doubt I would find anything she wanted to hide on there anyway. Plus, she doesn't talk or text that much when we are at home either. So I bought a VAR and hid it in her car, and it didn't produce anything in the first week. Then I caught her and her affair partner going to dinner together and playing around before coming back to our house, and then him taking her back to his car later. There you go. The suspicions were right. Remember in the beginning she said, "Oh, you're imagining things." Probably said he was being paranoid or controlling or whatever. Aside from the fact that she's an a-hole, this is heartbreaking. This is the woman he married, thought he was going to build a life with. All this on a day I worked my normal 24-hour shift. Since we live in an at-fault divorce state, I hired a PI to collect more evidence. He put a couple of nanny cams in our house and got proof of the affair partner's infidelity. It's Sally's co-worker, Jimmy, a 30-something male. It's bad enough she's cheating on him, not to mention a firefighter who at any time could die on his shift, on duty, right? But in their house, in his bed. I personally think she has disdain for this guy, and this is like revenge for something she built up in her mind. I've seen too many of my friends and coworkers go down this road, so I immediately contacted a lawyer. A couple weeks ago, I confronted Sally and told her I know everything and wanted a divorce. Good for you, man. She was remorseful and wanted to try and work things out. Yeah, it's amazing how much they want to work on the marriage after they're caught. Why don't you want to work on the marriage before you felt like you had to cheat? I asked her who she cheated with me on, and she told me an old friend from college named John. John? What happened to Jimmy? I asked if he was the only one. She said yes. And then I showed her pictures of her and Jimmy kissing. She turned white and broke down and told me everything. Oh, you mean she was crying? Shocker. Including things I didn't know, like how far back they've been seeing each other, etc., etc. Trickle truth. She was still trying to talk about reconciliation and promised to block him and be faithful. Too little, too late, honey. She said we should look into couples counseling to try and work things out. I'd be like, bitch, I don't need counseling. I've been a loyal, loving husband to you and supportive. You need counseling. You're the a-hole here. I told her one of them needed to quit the job and find a job somewhere else, and she needed to tell his wife about the affair. She said that I had no right to ruin other people's lives like that, and that we could move on without causing all that chaos. I'm not ruining anybody's lives. You and your douchebag affair partner ruin lives. And this guy's wife deserves to know. And why do you suddenly care about his life? You should be caring about me. Didn't you say you wanted to reconcile? By him even entertaining the idea of working things out, already she's trying to make the man. When, guys, in a situation like this, when you find out your wife or girlfriend's cheating and you have the proof, it needs to be unconditional surrender on her part. If there's even a possibility of a chance of you hearing her out or whatever. Not that you should. Let me make that clear. Don't do it. But just even if you're putting on the show. Unconditional surrender. There ain't no unconditional surrender here. I argued she had a right to know and that working together would be too tempting to fall back into a bad habit. We argued but never came to an agreement. Why are you wasting your time arguing? You got all the fucking power, man. Either I'd say basically you're going to listen to me or we're done. You're going to be quiet and you're going to listen. This is how things are. Again, unconditional surrender. We're done. Even though they're done. They should have walked right out when she started her arguing bullshit. The next day I went to Jimmy's house and had a chat with his wife and left her a copy of the evidence. I had plus also told her everything Sally had admitted to me the night before. She was agitated to say the least. At about 7 p.m., Sally got a call from a very angry Jimmy. It seems his wife confronted him and when he got home and had packed up his 2 daughters and was moving to her parents while she filed for divorce. Hey, couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Now, remember, he's not just cheating on his wife, he's cheating on the daughters too. You know? She screamed at me and called me an a-hole. Is this the same wife that's trying to reconcile with this guy? I fired back that it appeared that she cared more about his feelings than mine, because that's what's going on. That the two of them had made decisions that led up to this, and you both deserve the consequences. Yeah, well, narcissists don't think they deserve consequences. Narcissists think that everybody else is the problem, not them. I asked about the other thing, about which one was going to leave their company. Sally's a supervisor and not Jimmy's direct supervisor, but the company's a family-owned operation, very conservative. One that would look very unfavorably on 2 married employees having an extramarital affair. I told her I would give them a week to make a decision before I informed HR. Well, that's funny and all, and that they have it coming, but he says he's in an at-fault divorce state, so if there's evidence of cheating, he's going to make out fine. I still wouldn't do anything to jeopardize her job. That could somehow, some way, you never know, depending on the judge. He has to pay her alimony even though it's an at-fault state. Bear with me on this, guys. You never know. Better let her keep her job, divorce her, then send the evidence to HR. She says I'm being unreasonable, but still wants to negotiate reconciliation. Because she, in her mind, she has all power. You know, she thinks that she has everything. And she's in her late 20s, still technically her prime. No. Now the update. He says Sally wanted reconciliation and counseling, which I considered in the beginning. I had 2 conditions. She had to tell the affair partner's wife, blah, 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 and either her or the affair partner quit the company where they both worked. I decided that I no longer want reconciliation and have decided to divorce her. Good. The impression I got was he was maybe like 5% thinking reconciliation, but after learning more and seeing how she behaved, no fucking way. She was served last week at her office. Process servers captured it on video. Absolutely priceless. Ho, ho, ho. Narcissists care very much about their appearance to the outside world. So by him doing this in front of all the employees and co-workers and all that, oh. A couple days ago, Jimmy showed up at my house drunk and threatened me for ruining his marriage and possibly costing him his job. Motherfucker, you ruined your own marriage by doing all that. A lot of yelling and some shoving ensued, most of it witnessed by my next door neighbor, who also called the police. This jackass showed up at your house trespassing, verbally threatened you, and attacked you on your property. I mean, this is a dream come true. Boom, call the cops, criminal charges. And those criminal charges stick. Now he has an even better case for civil charges. How wonderful. Jimmy left before the cops showed up, but he was picked up not too far from our neighborhood and was charged with a DUI. My neighbor didn't witness any physical contact, so I ended up not trying to file assault charges, but a police report was filed. Smack! So what? Do it anyway. I'd given Jimmy and Sally till this Friday for one of them to quit and leave their jobs, or I'd report them to HR. Given the company culture where they work, both of them would likely be terminated if I complain. Sally has seen the draft of what I plan to send and has begged me not to send it, or at least give them more time. No, you're not getting more time. This Friday would have been 2 weeks since I gave them the ultimatum. My plan is to call Monday and ask for Jimmy, and if he is still there, I'll send copies of the letter to HR and the owner. I told most of our friends and family the details, along with most of my family. Some of our friends are connected to her parents, so the story has gotten back to them, indirectly. Control the narrative, man, or she will. The PI hired has gathered a sizable amount of evidence of the affair, which is relevant because we live in an at-fault divorce state. My lawyer is confident the courts will be very favorable to my settlement. Well, that's great, but still, unless it's 100% certain, I wouldn't count your chickens, not in today's world. Sally is still pushing for reconciliation and has refused to move out. My lawyer is working on legally forcing her out, but it is a process. I will update this post if I end up reporting into HR and the consequences they face. Well, I want to see that. Now, I'm going to read a comment here and how this guy responds about the whole HR thing here. This guy says, before you call HR, ask your lawyer. If she is fired, you may be forced to pay her more alimony. Ask a lawyer for file for infidelity and name him when the divorce blows up over them. If he gets fired from the DUI, have the lawyer send a letter to the company. Again, ask the lawyer if you don't want it costing you money. Also tell her and your family and friends that they don't know. Be careful out there. You're in a dangerous profession. Hopefully an at-fault state if you can buy your pension back from her if court screws you. And he says, the guy telling the story says, the lawyer says she has income potential and being at fault, there is almost no chance of her getting alimony even if she's fired. Okay. I know you say, I always say listen to your lawyer, and you should, but unless it's 100%, I wouldn't do anything to get her fired until the divorce is done. Then get the bitch fired, But anyhow, there you go. Narcissist. The whole time, she's trying to renegotiate and thinks it's no big deal, and, gets mad at him for telling the guy's wife. But good for him, kicking her to the curb, and I think we'll have some updates. And if you guys see an update before I do, definitely let me know, and I'll cover it.